brand new purple light, friends. Brand new purple light, friends. Facts. Brand new purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road, you better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah, we gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts, we in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts, peace, love and light, peace, love. To the family, peace, love, and light. To the family, peace, love, and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Brand new purple light, friends. Brand new purple light, friends. Facts. Brand new purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours, peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Let me know how we sounding on the audio. Let me know how we sounding on the audio, family. Before we continue, give me an audio check, you dig? Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Peace, love, and light. Welcome, welcome to Third Eye Thursdays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar, and we in the building. What's today? Halloween? That song that you just heard, ladies and gentlemen, the song that you just heard, that is the Facts remix featuring the 44 Tops, and that is available for your consideration, your Grammy consideration and whatnot. We have the link for that song available. Make sure you go ahead and add that to your playlist so you can ride out to some cosmic soul. All right. Let's go ahead and do the roll call. Thank you, everybody, for being in the building and waiting and being patient and whatnot. We see you. All right. Love and light. All right. So let's do it. Nashville, Tennessee. We got Columbus, Ohio. All right. We have Columbus, Ohio. We have San Jose. We have Oklahoma City in the building. We have San Francisco. All right. We have South Carolina. You know what I'm talking about? We got Portland in the building. We got New Zealand in the building, Spartansburg in the building, Phoenix in the building, Camden in the building, Baltimore in the building, Chino Hills in the building, Philly in the building, Naptown in the building, Connecticut in the building, Cape Verde in the building, California in the building. We have Tuscaloosa, Alabama in the building, Columbus, Ohio, Champaign, Illinois. It's your birthday. Everybody give a birthday shout out to Davion. All right. Scorpion, King or Queen. What is it? Bronx in the building, Memphis in the building, Ireland in the building, London, the Mondem, Harlem in the building, all right, Boston in the building, Oklahoma in the building, DMV, you know what I mean? Texas in the building. All right. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. My Halloween. Shout out to everybody with the Halloween birthday. You know what I'm talking about? Special blessings. You know what I'm saying? Y'all different. I know a few Halloweeners, and yeah, they different. You know what I'm talking about? Real Scorpio type of energy, real Scorpio type shit. You know what I'm saying? So salute to you. Y'all make sure that y'all keep the Earth Strongs going this whole month. You feel me? Salute all of the Scorpios. We're not about to do that. We we gonna keep it lit for this month. KT the Arch Degree, my younger brother. That is my younger brother by blood. His birthday is coming up on the 3rd. So if you want to give KT a gift, make sure you mark that on your calendar. He's the next one with the B-Day. And then after that, I believe AA Rashid and his brother is the 13th. And then the Twin Pillars, Red and Blue, on the 14th. That lands on a Thursday. So you already know it's going to be a movie. We already planning on something big for y'all. So we'll keep you tuned and whatnot to what we got going on. All right, Cleveland, Ohio. We got where's Atlanta at? Where my slimes at? Where's Atlanta? Where the ATL at? Him talking about where Cleveland Ave and whatnot. Shout out to your head. Pull up. Yeah. So let's get right into it. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get right into it. You know, we don't want to waste no time. The reason why I was kind of tardy is because I was finishing up my slideshow. I had to do a slideshow for tonight. You know, I had to put it together. You know what I'm saying? These lectures, they live on forever. You know what I'm saying? They definitely live on forever. So, you know, presentation is key. You know what I'm saying? Presentation is key. I don't just want to bump my gums and whatnot. Yes, prayers up for the Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey. I'm going to share the link for the GoFundMe before the show is over. All right. Our elder is in need of some assistance from the family. So we're gonna tap into that before the show is off. All right. Colorado in the building. Salute to Colorado. I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. And I'm fully aware that my audience are comprised of elders and the youth and whatnot. And I've said before, you know, this is for the youth mostly, but also for the elders because we all play a part. You know what I'm saying? We all have a part to play. You know, when I say this, it's not just to hear myself saying it. I really mean it. Like, I think that we should put our minds and our heads together and come up with a solution, you know, for some of our elders. You know, we need somewhere for them to basically go to rest themselves. And what I mean by that is, you know, it's hard in these streets. You feel me? Like it's hard in the concrete jungle. And I look around and I look and I'm, you know, I hear people get, you know, I kudos to everybody that got land. Kudos to the people who are buying, you know, property and whatnot. And I keep my ear to the ground, and I'm like, yo, where's the resort for the elders? Like, who's doing that? Who's dedicating some of the land to like the master teachers, or you feel me? Like, who in this community really is showing up and they're like, yo, we want to do something other than people such as myself, who are the teachers, who already have a lot of stuff on their shoulders. Like, we can't do everything type shit. Like, we're magical, we're mystical and all of that. Granted, you know what I'm saying? But we're not, we're, you know what I mean? Like, we're still human. We don't get no type of assistance when it comes to taking care of the people who deserve to be taken care of. We ain't talking about somebody asking and bothering you and pulling on the hems of your garment and whatnot. No, we're talking about, we have to establish in this community, especially before I leave this community, a reestablishment of the value of who these teachers are and what they bring to this community. We have to reassess their value. And by reassessing their value, we're going to have to begin to reward our teachers differently. Young Thug is coming home to a bag. Big Meech is coming home to a bag. You understand? Everybody who's coming home from jail, they coming home to millions of dollars. They understand their value. The streets understand their value, and they're gonna rub it in your face. Don't get in your feelings, because you're gonna see these people paraded through the streets like they're heroes. Okay. The reason why people would get upset in this community and get in their feelings is because you don't value anybody. Yeah, and Tory Lanez might be coming home as well. The reason why people in this community, this network, I would call, it's not really a community, it's a network that spans all across different platforms and channels, schools of thought and knowledge. They don't take care of their own. And I'm not saying that as no type of facetious type of indictment, but that's not what we do in this community. We allow our elders to die penniless and broke, and we talk about them toothless. You know what I mean? We allow them to have all type of issues in their bodies and whatnot, and then we say, damn, why didn't they take the CMOS? Like, what do you mean? The best thing that can happen for the teachers, we just lost a powerful master teacher, you know what I'm saying, out of DC. Okay. And I haven't even heard too many people, even saying anything about his name. It was said a few times and then it was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, they mentioned his name a few times, but then it was gone. And the best thing that can happen for our elders in this community is that somebody comes along and says, yo, we have a resort, we have some land. You know what I'm saying? We have some land for you. You don't have to worry about bills once you pass a certain type of age. You don't have to worry about being in a rat race. It's bro. It's one of the reasons why I'm going to leave this community and go about my business, because I can't stay in a community that I'm noticing, does not have no type of reward system, no type of value system, no type of respect to the people who are doing things that nobody on this planet is doing, right? It's not like you can duplicate what's being done. You can't duplicate it. You can't find that at your corner store. You know what I mean? You can't just tap the shoulders of an average Negro and have them wake you up and give you the light. That's not possible. You feel me? That's not possible. You know what I'm saying? These people are different. We have to honor our teachers. And not just in word. I don't want to take no pictures, and I don't want to get no pat on the back or a pat on the head. To be honest with you, to me, that's mad disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Don't pat me on the head. Don't hug me and all of that. We need reciprocation. We need action, because when we show up to these shows, We not just on these shows patting you on the head and throwing little peanuts at you. We're giving it our all. We're 10 toes down. We're busting our gun. We're running down on people and shaming them. We have beef with organizations of immense power all around the world because we won't shut up. Okay. And I don't think that that's respected and it's not honored. And it's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Y'all losing a lot of good people in this community. There's a lot of honorable people who are backing out. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, man. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate. I'm talking about TH3RD Bey. That's who I'm speaking about. He's come upon some issues and whatnot. I believe it's some health issues. So before the show is over, I will share the link for the GoFundMe. I'm not here to answer no questions. Don't ask me what's going on with him and all of that. That's none of your business. Respectfully, if you are part of the family, you know what I'm saying? Just know that he needs assistance, because I'm not here to start talking about everybody's business. You could ask me what's going on with him after you support him. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying that for safety issues, because I'm an empath. I don't like people pulling on me and pulling information out of me, and they don't do no type of reciprocation of action. That to me is just you just being nosy, so you could go ahead and run your mouth and be on some chatty pattiness, and that's not honorable. So let's bring honor back into what it is that we do. Or we just have to have one of these meetings where everybody has to figure out, where do we go from here? Because there's no reason that any of us should be putting our lives on a line and standing on business and doing what we do if we're not honored, if we're not valued, and if we're not respected. You will not get, I don't know, where do they do that at? Where do they do that at? You know what I mean? Where do they do that at? Not over here. Not over here. So that's just my, my personal opinions on how I feel about that situation. I could say more, but I won't. What I am saying is I'm going to speak it into existence. I'm going to affirm that somebody out there in Costa Rica, Belize, it needs to be a tropical island. You feel me? Where there's no winter and whatnot. People past 60 years old, they shouldn't have to go through a New York winter where their bones is hurting. Somewhere there's a blue zone where our elders could just relax. They could relax. Same way that they got the 401k set up in what I call the matrix or the white man system. Where's your system at? Where's your alternative to your system? How do you take care of others? And we can't play the broke shit because it's about 1,000 of us. There's no $1 each. There's 1,000 of us. So those excuses only gets me upset. You know what I mean? Like, I will turn green in the face of somebody who tries to use the pity party about what they don't have. You can't get that. I'm not jacking that at all. Because it never was about that. Nobody is shaking nobody down for their hard earned and whatnot. What they're saying is we have to figure out a way that's outside of the system, because we don't belong to the system. We stand outside of the system. If we were a part of the system, we'd be called sellouts. Oh, that nigga's a part of the system. You be with the white people, and Jaguar Wright would be talking about us and whatnot, and y'all would be sitting around, listening to her or somebody else. No, let's develop a new system. Let's develop a new system. Let's take care of our elders. Let's take care of our elders. Let's take care of our master teachers. Let's really show some love, not just in word, but in action. For real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and we do it to the entertainers. People is running around throwing they last earned at an entertainer who don't even care about you, don't even know you, won't even look at you. But some of these elders, Dr. Francis Cress Welsons of the world, the Dr. Benz of the world, the Dr. Clarks of the world, Dr. Delbert Blairs of the world. You know, they say it's not how you start the race, it's how you finish it. And unfortunately, a lot of people finish the race real ugly, not in a good way. The way that they ended the race was heartbreaking. You feel me? It's heartbreaking. And my mentality is when you put yourself out there for the people, then the people owe you. You are that now you are owned by you are part of the people. They owe you. And if we can't figure that out, and if we can't come to an agreement, please let me know. Please let me know. Let me know, because I need to know. I don't want to be moving around thinking that people got my back and motherfuckers is looking at me judging and smudging and acting all funny style. I'm not with it. I don't need this. I could fall back and get into some whole nother shit. For real, for real. You know what I'm talking about? I need to be respected wherever I'm at. I need to be respected and valued. You know what I'm saying? Not overvalued and not over respected. Give me the respect that I'm earned. That's all. So yeah, we need a retirement island. Dead ass. We need somewhere so we could be like, here's a ticket. You don't even gotta pack nothing. When you get there, you're gonna be taken care of. Here's your ticket, and you good. Go to the island and listen to some good music, eat some good food. You don't gotta bring no bread. You don't have to worry no more. You put in your work. This is your retirement fund. So that's about it. I'm off of that rant. Let's get into this presentation. I mean, we have some things that we need to talk about in the realms of, this is some street shit. So I don't want to confuse any of my elders that are here that don't know anything about the streets. Um, yeah, this is tonight's conversation on Third Eye Thursdays is going to be street orientated, not in a way, not in a way that, not in a way where it's belligerent. We're not on some belligerent. We're not ignorant. I'm not an ignoramus and whatnot. It's just dealing with street politics. You know what I'm saying? It's dealing with hip hop. You know what we do over here. So this is a part of the series, the continuation of the Watch the Party Die series. Okay. This is the continuation of the Watch the Party Die series. And this episode is entitled Truly Humble Under God. And this story is about Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug. And today was the day that Jeffrey has been freed. So now we call him Jeff Free. Okay. And it so happens to be on the quote unquote day of Halloween. You know what I mean? Shout out to B Dell. Shout out to everybody who's done videos about this quote unquote ritualistic day. Very ritualistic day, right? The slime has been freed on Halloween. Now, here's a little bit of preference for the elders or the people who may not be hip about what be going on and whatnot, and who the hell is this guy? All right, so this is Young Thug, who is a rapper, who's very influential amongst the younger generation. He's not a drill rapper, but he's a gangbanger. Okay, he's a gangster. He's a gangster. He's in the gang. He's a blood and whatnot, and he got hit with a RICO charge. Right now, I famously, I believe, I was looking for the video, but I haven't found it. We went to Stone Mountain about 2 years ago. I've been out here in Atlanta for about 2 years and whatnot. And we did a trip to Stone Mountain. And on that video, when they gave me the chance to speak, I spoke about the quote unquote climate in Atlanta. And I was like, yo, Atlanta is it's a murder town. Okay. I used to live in Atlanta on different occasions. I came here the first time in 1997, and I've been back and forth over the years, right? When I came in 2021/2022, I think it was like November 21 and went into 22. I was like, God damn, there is a murder. There's a thickness of murder in the air, right? Meaning that the crime rate and the quote unquote, the crime rate in Atlanta was at an all-time high. It was turned up, right? There was a lot of break-ins, the robberies was going crazy, the shootings was going crazy. Case in point, three places of where I frequent the most have gotten shot up over the years. The Royal Chamber, right? Our spot in Buckhead got shot up, right? Not when we was there. There was a after hours party that we was splitting with somebody who was on the, who we were splitting the venue with. They would do after hours at the spot. That shit got shot up, you know what I mean, and whatnot. There's a barbershop that I go to in Atlanta. And this is not no lit barbershop. This ain't a barbershop with young barbers. This is a barbershop with like 60-year-olds. It's literally a old school barbershop. That got shot up, shot the fuck up. I'm talking about 30. I mean, it was a crazy shootout. Nobody got killed or nothing, but I think they picked up like 30 shells and whatnot. And I literally was on the way to the barbershop that day to get a good lineup and whatnot. It's just going to show, and it's just going to, I'm saying all of that to show you that Atlanta has been the quote unquote, it's a violent city, right? It's not the Atlanta that you think it is. The result of one of the reasons why it's been so violent is because Atlanta turned into what is known as gangland. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of gang activity in the A over the years and whatnot. And it went from a place where it was known for trap rapping and all of this stupid shit. You know what I mean? It was get money, the BMF era where it was about getting money and, and getting bread and stacking your money and all of that. And then it went into some shit where everybody became a gangbanger. So the GD started popping, the Bloods, the Crips, all of these different fucking gangs. And one of the main proprietors of it was Young Thug, this man right here, right? With his blood set. Not to say that he was the one that brought the gangs out here, but he definitely had the city turned up. When you speak about individuals who have a certain type of energy, it's not necessarily them that are doing the crimes. It's not necessarily them that are doing the shootings. It's not necessarily them that are doing the killings, but it's their energy that's attached to it, right? Like Young Thug is a current, okay? The idea of Young Thug, it represents a certain type of charge or current. The same way that Big Meech is a current. Outside of him being an individual, he's a current. And that current is an energy and it produces currency. Young Big Meech is an inspiration. You remember Thug Motivation from Young Jeezy, the album, and Young Jeezy blew up over back in the days. You know what the Thug Motivation was Big Meech and BMF. It's not Jeezy was just a person singing the soundtrack or rapping the soundtrack. Without BMF and Big Meech, there is no Young Jeezy because there was no real life example that people could draw from. They were drawing inspiration from a real life example of people who were really doing things that probably was never done in that lifetime. He's a current. So him coming back on the scene is bringing the currency back, is going to bring a current back. He represents a current, right? Different rappers represent currents. When they are lit in their city is lit. When you take them out of the city and you lock them up or they die, the city ain't lit no more because the current is gone. The idea that they represent is finished. You can't replicate that idea. People come along, but they can't fill these people's shoes and whatnot. So the slat Young Thug slime movement, it represents a certain type of current. You know what I mean? Not just in Atlanta, it's in Atlanta and it spread everywhere around the world. And especially with the younger generations who speak the slime language. Okay. So when they removed him, right, when he got locked up, he caught a RICO charge. He didn't get a regular, we just locking this nigga up because he's a menace to society. No, they hit him with a state RICO. It was Fannie Willis. Remember Fannie from Donald Trump fame, right? Fannie Willis was the prosecutor who was like, I need to clean up Atlanta. This shit is too violent. It's too much crimes. People are leaving. The property value is falling. Translation: these niggas from the hood with this money, right, is getting too close to old money in Atlanta. You had politicians sharing the same women with these motherfucking these degenerates. You had politicians, the boulets in the boule, because in Atlanta, at certain places, you'll have like the Atlanta housewives rubbing shoulders with the mayor, and rubbing shoulders with gangbangers, and rubbing shoulders with strippers, and rubbing shoulders with athletes, and rubbing shoulders with rappers. That's how Atlanta is set up. So everybody is sort of like in the same ballroom together. They party together. So at some point, the bourgeoisie or the old money of Atlanta, they was like, what the fuck? I don't want to be in a party with niggas with face tats and blonde hair. The new money was getting too close to the old money. So the old money was like, something has to, we need to press the brakes on this shit. So the old money started targeting this new money and whatnot. And this new money didn't have no brakes on it. You know how new money acts. New money don't have no decorum, right? So that old money in Atlanta, they have that, they like Democrats and shit. They have this, they got a certain type of decorum. These young wild niggas don't have no decorum. You know what I'm talking about? They just all, nothing is hidden. Everything is out. And the call was made, and Fannie was like, we're gonna clean up Atlanta and we're gonna book these niggas and take all of their money. Okay. We're gonna slow the money down, right? Because that's how you know what I mean? The best way to slow this shit, we're gonna slow the money down. And that they did. You know what I'm talking about? They slowed the money down. The club started dying, and when they took Thug away, it showed you that he was the main current that was running the city. It's almost like pulling a plug out of the wall, because nobody after that was able to keep the city lights on. They was not able to keep it lit. I'm talking somewhat in ebonics and slang, but y'all understand what I'm saying, right? So they unplugged Thug. When they unplugged him and they put him in the quote unquote Cobb County jail, you know what I'm saying? Took him off of the streets and whatnot. Took his whole gang, YSL, locked them all up. Things started changing in Atlanta. The energy changed. The current changed. So I remember being out here on Stone Mountain, and we were doing affirmations when we climbed the mountain. It was like, what is it that you want? And I got on the mountain, and I got on the crystal, and I was like, I want the energy in Atlanta, the dark energy, to dissipate. I want it to break up. I came on the show and I said this a few times. I want it to break up. It's too thick. Now I know, danger is, we, Scorpios, we thrive in danger sometimes, but it was too dangerous. I got my child with me. It was just too dangerous. People's cars was getting broken into. There was a lot of robberies going. It was just off the fucking chain. The city was spiraling. Okay. The shit was going crazy. Everybody was slat. Everybody was, niggas was just crazy. They was on pills. They was geeked up. They was coked up. You know what I mean? They was doing whatever the fuck they want to do. Buckhead turned into goddamn the Wild Wild West, my niggas. You know what I'm talking about? And this was all on this man's watch. I think he was living in Buckhead as well when they locked him up. So he had to go. You know what I mean? He had to go. He had to sit down. What's the best way to stop our people from crashing out? 2 ways, right? It's unfortunate, but it's 2 ways. They've only given us 2 ways out of this matrix and whatnot. They say that this thing is an illusion. Remember in the Matrix when they unplugged, when Cypher snuck into the Matrix, and he snuck in and he started unplugging niggas, and they say if you die in the Matrix, you die in the real world. So really, the only way to kind of stop the current or stop the wave of violence or the wave of dark energy, because that's really what it is. It's dark energy. It's not necessarily, I mean, it turns into violence, but it's a dark energy. Okay, it's a dark energy. Now, in some ways, people, alchemists, know what to do with dark energy. They turn dark energy into inspiration. They could turn dark energy into fuel and whatnot. But everybody is not that savvy and whatnot. So you got these little babies and shit. They want to gang bang. They want to slide on niggas. They want to, you know what I mean? They want to bust their gun. The shorties, they want to strip. They want to start, busting it wide open. They want to be in the gang. They want to get sexed into the gang and whatnot. They want to ride out. You know what I mean? They want to be mules and shit. You know what I'm saying? So all of this stuff was taking place, and it still is. It didn't stop. It still is. I mean, Atlanta is a fucking narco state. And that happened before BMF or Young Thug. It's a narco state. You feel me? And it's a hub for human trafficking, which is in all ways slavery. So slavery is still strong in the South, y'all. They lied to us. You know what I'm talking about? Slavery is still strong in the South. The only thing is our people are selling each other, which really makes me say nothing has changed. You can't convince me that our people was not selling each other in the 1600s and in the 1500s. They've been doing it, and they doing it still. The same way that you have madams that will turn little girls out and turn them into quote unquote sex slaves and sell them out. They've been doing that. They do it so effortlessly that that they reincarnated and they was doing that in their past lives and whatnot. They're still practicing slavery in the South and also in the North and other places. I'm not singling out the South, but it's bumping out here. Yeah, it's bumping out here. People are willingly walking into the white van. You understand? They're willingly walking into the white van to get taken away. Real talk. Yeah, breeding farms. Breeding farms. They have warehouses out here where you go in and you have sex. There's thousands of people in the warehouse just screwing each other. This is in Atlanta. I'm talking about Bussy and all kind of stuff. They want to talk about Diddy and the white parties. Well, who's giving those parties? Because they out here in warehouses smacking bellies and whatnot, on some breeding farm type shit, on some Caligula type shit. This shit crazy out here. I promise you. You give niggas some money and no oversight, and they're gonna turn into Romans right before your very own eyes, bro. Right before they don't have to go to Jeffrey Epstein's island to practice hedonism, nigga. It's in Lithonia, it's in Buckhead. You know what I mean? Like it's on Cheshire Boulevard. It's all over the place. And they on Instagram flaunting it. Like they don't hide that shit. You know what I mean? So back to this guy, Jeffrey. I got on the mountain. I was like, yeah, something needs to change. I didn't say his name is specifically. I just said whatever the universe could do to clean up the energy, please do it, because God damn it, Atlanta is going to suffer if not. I turn around. This nigga gets locked up. He gets a RICO. They take him off the streets. They take his crew off the streets. Things start going in a different direction. You said Memorial Drive 2. There's some shit going on Memorial. You know what I mean? Memorial is a very long strip, so there's some shit going on. But it's in they had, it's in the outskirts. It's outside. Believe me when I tell you. But his story is an interesting story. His story is a story of redemption. I'm going to get into this story of redemption. And once again, I have to use a disclaimer. I'm not pro criminal. I don't hail up no criminals. I've participated in criminality, you know what I'm saying, in my younger years, and I redeemed myself. I went through what is called a redemption arc. I've been judged by many, you know what I'm saying. I was shunned, by people who basically, wanted to judge me and be like, yo, you're the bad twin and shit like that. I went through all of that. And I had to go through the fire. I had to go through the fire. Me personally, it's shit that I go through. Nobody goes through what I go through. I have to carry my own cross, and I never put my cross on nobody's shoulders and whatnot. I had to deal with my own quote unquote demons and whatnot. Right. So this is something that men and women go through in life. Right. And, one of the things about life is we're able to sit back and watch people go through their quote unquote hero's journey. And we have the opportunity, we could judge them, we could throw rocks at them, we could point fingers at them, and we could do all of these things and whatnot. But redemption is redemption. You know what I'm saying? Only God can judge me on some Tupac shit. Like whoever who's being judged based off of what's going on in their lives and whatnot. You know what I mean? If they're favored by whatever God that they pray to, then they're going to get out of certain situations. Some people would say if they're favored by demons, you know what I mean? Because it's been rumored that Young Thug is a part of the EFA system. When they arrested him, he was doing what? Anybody in the chat room gets this answer right, I'm giving you a free ticket to the replay to the lecture that I just did with the good brother Q Reeves. When they came to arrest Young Thug, what was he doing? Oze's Fire, send me your email. He was sacrificing a goat. Okay. He was sacrificing a goat. Right. So, Ozazi, you got it right. You were the first one to answer that. Make sure you send me your email so I could take care of you. Right. So, what people don't know about Atlanta, and I'm not going to be the one to tell everybody's business and whatnot, is that over the last 10 years, I would say the last 20 years, the EFAR spiritual system has integrated into the streets real heavy, in ways that I didn't see it even in New York. But the EFAR has integrated into the streets the same way that Islam has integrated in the streets. I'm not singling nobody out. I have to use that disclaimer because if y'all throw something at me, I'm gonna throw it back. I'm talking about. That's just don't play with me. You know what I mean? Don't start cutting up no fucking chickens and getting mad at me. I'm not exposing y'all. I'm just giving the truth as to what's going on. The gangbangers and the dope boys and whatnot, they got the motherfucking elekes. They got the beads on their necks. You know what I'm saying? The niggas, the shooters is wearing beads. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you got Skrilla in out there in goddamn Kensington and Philadelphia. He's going super hard with his shit. You feel me? But yeah, Young Thug was probably the most high profile EFA practitioner in Atlanta. Okay. He was getting busy and whatnot. And it was even said that one of the reasons why he got smacked down and he got locked up and he got the RICO is because he was going against the motherfucking system. You know what I'm saying? He was going against the system. But based off of what we see today, somebody has put in major work. There's a lot of goats had to die for this motherfucking deal to come through, this sweet ass deal that he got. And the fact that he's home, a lot of goats died. This is not just the motherfucking Jewish lawyer that did this for him. This is some intervention. This is some divine intervention. The same way that he got sat down is the same way that he was able to they was able to pick him back up as well. You don't know what you don't know when he was in the confines, you don't know what conversations he had with his quote unquote maker. You don't know what agreements he made with the spirit realm to get out of this bind and whatnot. We just don't know these things. Okay. We don't know these things, but we have to somewhat assume because I've been locked up before and I tapped into my, you know what I mean? I'm talking about before the cups come off, niggas turn religious. Yo, Jesus, Allah, Alekba. You know what I'm saying? You talking to somebody of a higher degree, you know what I mean? Other than your lawyer. You're finding out who am I in favor with? And those are the people that you're going to have conversations to get you out of purgatory, because nobody wants to get buried alive. It's literally when you get locked up and you go into pokey and whatnot, you're buried alive. This is the closest thing to death, outside of getting riddled with bullets and whatnot and having to live with that. This is the closest thing to death that a human being, a breathing human being, can have on this planet. But what does it do though? What is the redemption qualities of jail? I'm going to share something with you. When you put somebody in the ground, right? Because that's what happens when you buried alive. When you put somebody in purgatory, right? You put them in the underworld, and all of their dirt is now what? Thrown on them. Everybody gets dirt thrown on them. If you're able to come out of that grave, if you're able to come out of that purgatory, because it's almost like when it happens, you say, all of my quote unquote discrepancies in front of the eyes of the Lord or the spirit realm or my ancestors, now is the time to speak or forever hold your peace. Now is the time to speak or forever hold. You can't try me again. It's called double jeopardy. So if I'm going through my trials and tribulations for 3 years, you better be able to get all of your shit off right now. You can't fuck with me after this, because if I'm able to walk up out of the purgatory and brush the dirt off, I'm a renewed man. Amen. Amen. Once I do my time, and don't let me beat my case. It's two different type of redemptions. If you do your time, you come home and they give you the party like baby, like Doughboy and whatnot on Boys in the Hood. Oh, this nigga's welcome home. You get plates of food. You know, you're gonna get you some cheeks and whatnot. You're gonna smack bellies because you got that glow, you got that big back and whatnot, and that's what the shorties like. They want to drain you for your energy, right? That's a different type of quote unquote redemption than the ones when you beat trial. Okay. When you beat trial, that means that you were tried, right? You were tried, you were buried alive, you were left for dead, and you made your way out of the coffin. You clawed your way up out of the casket and whatnot. People begin to see you like, you know what? You've now cleaned your spirit. You've been put in purgatory. It's almost like the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. The caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, which would be purgatory. It goes into the darkness. It goes into the underworld. You know, when niggas is locked up, it's out of sight, out of mind. If you don't accept them collect calls, you don't see a nigga. You don't even know what's happening with them. You don't know anything about them. They're gone. They're out of sight, out of mind. How many of y'all got baby daddies that's locked up? How many of y'all got daddies that's locked up? How many of y'all got brothers that's locked up? How many of y'all got people who've been in purgatory, who've been buried alive for your whole life and whatnot? Can you relate? Because this is not a game. We got 2 million plus of us in these situations, and everybody's not going through the same situation. Everybody's not going through the same situation. Okay, Roy got a baby mama that's locked up, or mother of your child. I like to say mother of the child instead of baby mama. Those are two different things, by the way. But when you are able to come out of this purgatory situation, when you're able to come out of the quote unquote grave that they put you in, or the cell that they put you in, or the quote unquote box that they put you in, you have an opportunity for redemption. How many people are coming home? The kingpins are coming home, y'all. The kingpins are coming home. This is 2024 is the year the kingpins coming home. Are they coming home on the same energy that they left with? No, not all of them. For the ones that are coming home with that same energy, they usually, I'm not following them. I don't hear about them. I don't know who they are, right? I'm hearing and I'm seeing and I'm tapping in with the ones who are coming home on some new energy. It's called cell therapy, right? Just a little bit of cell therapy. Shout out to Goody Mob. They're coming home with a renewed energy. Shout out to Wallow. 272. Is that it? Wallow. He is the poster child, right? He is the prime example of this generation that are coming home with a new motherfucking lease on life, that are running laps around niggas that been home while they was going for those 20 odd years. Wallow 267. He's showing you what the redemption arc looks like in real life. He is an example for these dudes that are coming home. They're saying, I want to be like Wallow. I don't want to be like the nigga who went right back in because he wanted to touch a bird and whatnot, or he wanted to still gang bang. Them niggas, we came out of purgatory. Why would we go back? Do you see these women out here? Do you see this? Do you see all of this money out here? Wallow is getting money by talking into his phone. I would be a fucking fool to go back to jail. That's how certain people are thinking right now. They're inspired by his demonstration. This picture on the right where it says free my cousin, right? No, don't free that nigga at all. You know what I'm talking about? He hasn't, he's just saying, look at this nigga, free my cousin. No, don't free him. There's no redemption in his face. There's no redemption in his spirit. He's just the beginning. That he didn't even get into the boat to go into the underworld yet. He has not even gotten into the underworld. His journey, his hero's journey, hasn't even begun yet. If you free him that same night, chances are he's gonna die. There's two options for black men in this Kali Yuga that we're in. It might have been different back in the days, but we in a Kali Yuga right now. There's two options for people who are fucking around with the dark energy. You know what I mean? Because we could call it what we want to call it. You gangbanging, you thugging. No, you're juggling dark energy, chaos magic, my nigga. And if you don't know what you're dealing with, you could get your head popped off. You could lose your head easily fucking around because demons are walking this planet right now during the Kali Yuga. This is not like it was back in the days. We're walking, you know, you're walking amongst demons and devils and entities that are very dark and whatnot, and they will steal your soul in a finger snap. These niggas is standing over niggas and dumping the whole clip, and they point and they going live doing it. They don't care. I remember when I was young, you would do anything in front of a camera. These demons want to do it in front of the camera. They are voyeurs. They want to see themselves like Old Dog wanted to see himself on that tape shooting the motherfucking Asian. Okay? So certain demons cannot be redeemed, right? There's certain demons that are just pure demons and they cannot be redeemed. Everybody is not the same. All of these niggas are not redeemable. Everybody's not redeemable. It's only a few. Remember when I tell you that. We are not capping and we are not advocating for because every nigga is a star, but every nigga does not have redeemable angelic forces. They don't got angels around them. They don't have guardians around them. They on demon time because they are demons. So we're not talking about those people. Let's be clear. Let's make fucking distinction, please. Let's be very clear. A redemption arc is a storyline in which a character who has done wrong or faced personal failures seeks to make amends, change, or improve themselves. Over the course of the story, they go through trials or challenges that help them grow, confront their past mistakes, and ultimately find some form of redemption. Once again, there's going to be somebody out there that's going to be wild judgmental of this man because you're projecting, or you just, I don't know. I can't speak for your mentality. I'm telling an age-old story with non-emotions. I'm telling an age-old story. I'm just putting his name in the empty space where millions of names have already gone. This is a story that has lasted millions of years. When you talk about the hero's journey and the redemption arc and how one person could go from the slime and turn into something else, right? Because snakes shed their skin. So let's listen to his he had a he was able to speak. I haven't heard him speak since this whole trial. He remained mute. He remained very quiet, which is a good thing when you really think about it. You know, shut your fucking mouth, stop talking, and allow others to speak for you in certain ways. Shout out to my Moors. But check this out.
But it could end bad and it could, fall on you.
And you want to say?
I know to the sheriff, yes, ma'am, for just having to put extra time in. I know y'all got paid more money, but I'm sorry.
So let me preface this real quick too. The lady that you'll hear in the background is a white woman, a Caucasoid, a Caucasian. She's not a Karen. This is a Becky that you're hearing. Okay. A Becky is the best thing that a motherfucking black thug can hope for. A Becky. A black judge would never have done this for him. A black woman would never have done this for him. A black man would never have done. An Asian would never do this. An Indian, the only one who would let him do what he did to walk out of there is a white Becky, not a Karen. She's enamored by him.
My crimes or my charges. I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids. I can't say all their names, my managers, my kids that's not here. Really everybody that got something to do with this situation, I want to say sorry for just having so much time investing into this, and, I am a smart guy. I am a good guy, and I really got a good heart. I find myself in a lot of stuff because
there's no state in the union. I'm sorry. There's no state in the union besides Atlanta that something like this will be able to happen. You understand? You can't do this in Los Angeles because they throw gang members in jail for religion. You cannot do this in New York. You cannot do this in Florida. You cannot do this in Texas because Atlanta is a black city and every single way is ran by black people from the bureaucracy. And you talking about boule blacks, and you also talking about there's no distinction. Everybody in that courtroom listens to Young Thug when they get out of work. Everybody, even the judge, is a fan, bro. I was listening to her talk. She's a fucking fan. She listens to the music. The white lawyers listen to the music. That the culture is bigger than the state. Understand that. This is the only place in America where something like this can happen. So I'm hoping that young kids around the fucking world don't think that because they see this nigga slither his way out of goddamn life in jail, right? Possible life in jail, that these motherfuckers could go ahead and do some dumb shit. Like, you cannot do nothing like this. Is this whatever favor he's having, this shit is some spiritual shit. You know what I mean? Don't apply that to you if you're not in touch with your spirit like this, or you don't have no favor.
Because I was just nice or cool, and I understand that you can't be that way when you reach a certain height because it could end bad, and they don't really have. The choice is yours. It's up to you, and I hope that you allow me to go home today and just trust in me to just do the right thing and never see you again unless it's at a bar in the future or something. Just out of this type of situation, I promise you I won't ever be in this type of situation.
So you heard him. He subtly said, I hope that I see you in a bar or somewhere outside of this situation. I mean, you got to have ears to hear.
I'm going away. I've learned from my mistakes. I come from nothing and I've made something and I didn't take full advantage of it. I'm sorry. Through these last 2.5 years of my life, you are really, truly, honestly, the best thing that has happened to me because you made everything fair for me and everybody involved. on both sides, you know. Do with you, but it could end bad, and it could, you know, fall on you.
Only in Atlanta.
Thing that you want to say.
I'm sorry to the sheriff, you know, everybody for just having to put extra time in. I know y'all got paid more money, but I'm sorry for y'all having to put this extra time in to be away from y'all family, you know, and I just hope that you find it in your heart to allow me to go home and be with my family and just do better as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I am. I know the heights I've reached. I know the impact I got on people, period, in the community, you know, all people. I learned that late, like these past 2 or 3 years of my life, I kind of learned that late. And maybe it was because I was, you know, probably on drugs or anything, I don't know. But I have came to my senses. I understand what I mean to this world, but I am a good guy, you know. I don't mind doing stuff like, you know, like.
So I played that for the point that I was showing, you know, I'm showing you that there's a redemption arc. The story is about the redemption arc. You know, he's, you know, once again, I mean, you know, if anybody been in trouble before, you know what it is. You got a white lady before you. You know how to do it. You know what to do because you know what they mean. You know how they are. You ultimately know that they are fans of you, especially the way that they, you know what I mean? It is what it is. They're the ones that are gonna look out. Like he said to her, when she came in the picture, he knew everything was gonna be all right because she basically was able to treat things fair. The black judge before that, the dude with the earring in his ear, nah, he was trying to send niggas up the river. He was not trying to hear nothing. You know what I'm talking about? He was taking shit personally, you know? So, you know, it is what it is. Shout out to the liberals. That's a liberal judge that he was talking to. That was a liberal judge. They are pushovers. You understand? Y'all niggas know about, y'all work in corporate America. You know what I'm talking about. And you know, yeah, that other judge was definitely trying to cook him. You feel me? And YSL Woody was the reason why they had to change judges. So YSL Woody is the wild card in this whole situation, even though YSL Woody is the reason why this case is even was even created. He was the main one that snitched, right? And YSL Woody was the one who threw the case because he didn't get up there and start pointing fingers and basically tell everything that he had to tell. He became the glitch in the matrix. He became the glitch in the matrix. You feel me? He became the glitch in the matrix, right? So we'll see how that plays out with him and moving forward and whatnot. You know what I mean? We'll see how that plays out. But I don't, you know, the word about Woody in the streets is he's not one to play with, you know what I mean? And he'll crash out even to this day if you fuck around and cross him, you know, and try to play him and whatnot. He has a lot of respect because of the work that he's put in. And this is some street shit. This ain't, you know, the books that he's read or the children that he saved. No, he's a fucking shooter, you know what I mean? And things like that in Atlanta, that puts you on the fucking top of the nigga pyramid, the hierarchy of, you know, hyper masculinity that exists in this culture. Unfortunately, you know, we would think that it would be other things, but that it is what it is. All right. The hero's journey and the redemption arc often complement each other by creating narrative where a character grows, learns, or redeems themselves through transformative experiences. While the hero's journey focuses on external adventures and the character's development into a hero, the redemption arc centers more on internal atonement and personal transformation. When combined, they produce complex and inspiring character arcs that show both self-improvement and meaningful achievement. Now, it's not Red Pill saying this. I'm just giving y'all the insight because I know how Western society works and I know how the story works. And I know that this whole shit is a theater and it's a stage. His story from Young Thug's, his story from this point on, is going to be told through the lens of the redemption arc. He's going to be a billionaire. He's going to do songs with Elton John and shit like that. They're going to do a documentary and it's going to break records. They're going to paint, if he has a publicist, whoever's on his team, the way that the media is going to pick it up, they're going to paint this as a redemption arc. Okay? That's how they're going to push it, right? It's an easy fucking sell. He don't gotta rap about slat no more. He don't gotta rap about if he raps about the Bloods and killing shit, I'm gonna personally lock his ass up. I'm gonna do a citizen's arrest. He don't have to do any of that. Put some children on the fucking hook. Oh my life. The shit that Little Dirk was trying to do. We've been tired. You gotta clean it up. Clean it. Go get the clean money. Because you was getting dirty money before. And they took all of your dirty money. They froze his accounts. They were trying to take all of his assets too. Because that's the reason why they locked him and a whole bunch of other niggas in Atlanta up. They want to stop that money from coming in. Them niggas was getting to too much money and they was acting untouchable and they were rubbing shoulders and they were bumping into people who got that old money in Atlanta, who got power. And they was like, nah, pull the plug on these niggas. We're not having this. I'm not sharing a fucking stage with a nigga with pink hair and face tats. And I went to Morehouse and I got my PhD and I'm in a fraternity and all of that. You know what I mean? So all of these preachers and all of these boule niggas and all of that old money, they feel threatened in Atlanta by the new money because the new money is gang related. They're rambunctious and they do not respect no type of authority. Facts. They don't respect no type of authority at all. And the old money, them old Black Caucus niggas, they don't know how to handle certain things. So they throw cases on people. They'll get you, they just get niggas jammed up and whatnot because that's the only way to stop the flow. That's the only way to stop the motherfucking. But you try to stop something and it backfires on you and you made him bigger than before. He's bigger now than he ever was. He went through his redemption arc. Once I come out of jail and I'm clean, you cannot judge me. Nothing will stick. You can't throw nothing on me. I'm fucking lit until I sabotage myself. So the only person that could bring him down is him at this point. People are saying that the feds is coming and the feds is going to pick up the case. You know what? The feds been eating lately and they've been getting busy and whatnot. I don't fucking know. Who knows? You know what I mean? As fate would have it, it really, at this point, it deals with his favor. All of this shit deals with the favor. I'm seeing too many people die and get life and whatnot. It's all dealing with favor. Nature Boy got life and Young Thug is home. Think about it. Young Thug is home and he's going to be treated like this nigga is the Pope. And you got other people doing natural life, nigga. So it's all about favor at the end of the day. It's whatever your hand is calling. That's what it's going down to. It's what your hand calls for. You know what I'm saying? He obviously was able to balance some of his scales with whatever good work that he was doing by taking care of his children. He wasn't a deadbeat, taking care of his mama, taking care of his family. He bought them all houses. So that's that, you know what I mean? That's that cleaning of the aura. That's the cleaning of the karma. That's the balancing of the scales, doing dirt, but also cleaning your dirty hands and whatnot in order to bring about balance. That's what the mafia and the mob in them used to do. They got a lot of dirt. They catch a lot of bodies. They did a lot of heinous things. Then they went through a redemption redemption arc where some of them got locked up and beat their, they had to get locked up and go through certain things and, try to change themselves up, get into politics and get into these and become a philanthropist and, all of these things. This is America, by the way. We're not in fucking Turkestan. This is what America, this is as American as apple pie, by the way. Okay. America loves a redemption story. America loves a cleaned up gangster. Okay. Like, because money and violence is as American as apple pie. Need I remind y'all? Because niggas be acting like they live in this fucking bubble and whatnot. Y'all grew up inside of your Barbie castles and all of that. I don't know where y'all came from. But y'all be living under this impression because you did a fucking few meditations that the whole world is on some nice guy shit. And that's not the world that we live in. We live on a prison planet where everything is trying to kill each other. The fucking cat's trying to kill the rat. The bacteria is trying to kill the amoeba. The hawk is trying to kill the mouse. You know what I'm talking about? The fucking bees got ops, my nigga. Everybody got an op. Everyone has somebody that's trying to take them out on this planet. This is not, I don't know where y'all came from, but this is a very primal planet and it goes down. The only reason why I don't go down like that is because there's law and order, or the attempt of law and order and whatnot. And that's stopping a lot of people from being truly primal. Okay? But this is not a nice place. This is a very gross place. You know what I mean? The spirit, this is Malkuth, my nigga, and this is the Kali Yuga. It's it gets greater later. So let's just look at some examples of the hero's journey so we could understand what we're looking at instead of being wild judgmental and whatnot, because I could have got up here and turned into some holier than thou, finger pointing, fake ass conscious dude. And he wore a dress. It sounded like the Future song. Yeah. I could have did that. I could have been a Poindexter. But I'm not gonna be fake. These niggas on the internet, they like being too fake, man. Be real about your shit. Niggas they'll get on a whole podcast and throw Young Thug under the bus and then get into the Corolla and put on the fucking the tape deck. Let me the best of Young Thug. You know what I'm saying? While they drive through the West End. Yeah, that's hypocritical. You got to live with yourself, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? You got to live with yourself. You're not real with yourself. That's a self-imposed prison. You know? But check this out. These are some examples of stories where both elements intertwine effectively. And we're talking about the hero journey with the redemption arc. Star Wars trilogy, right? Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. The hero journey. Luke Skywalker follows the hero journey as he leaves his ordinary life, learns the way of the Force, and confronts powerful enemies. He grows from a farm boy into a Jedi who fights for justice. Here's the redemption arc. Darth Vader's story serves as a redemption arc within the hero's journey. As Luke journeys to become a Jedi, he also uncovers Vader's past as Anakin Skywalker. By the end, Vader sacrifices himself to save Luke, who's his son, redeeming his soul and fulfilling his arc from villain back to hero. So what are we seeing with Young Thug? He's revealing he's going from villain back to hero. Okay? He's going from villain back to hero. It can happen. All right? Lord of the Rings. Aragorn and Boromir. The hero journey. Aragorn's story is a hero's journey as he accepts his destiny, faces countless challenges, and eventually takes his place as king of Gondor. He grows into a leader and a symbol of hope. Here comes the redemption arc. Boromir, who initially succumbs to the temptation of the One Ring, realizes his mistake and ultimately sacrifices himself to save Frodo and the others, seeking redemption for his prior weakness. His arc shows how even a fallen hero can redeem himself through sacrifice and courage. You willing to sacrifice? Lion King, Simba. Simba journey begins when he is exiled after his father's death. He learns valuable lessons, matures, and ultimately returns to save Pride Rock, reclaiming his rightful place as king. Redemption arc. Simba's return to Pride Rock is not only about reclaiming his throne, but also about redeeming himself. Haunted by guilt over Mufasa's death, he finally faces his past, confronts Scar, and takes responsibility. His arc represent both a hero's journey and a personal redemption. Les Miserables. Hero's journey. After serving time as a convict, Jean Valjean transformed himself into a respected man, rising to the position of mayor and embodying compassion and strength. Redemption arc. The heart of Valjean's story is redemption. Originally a bitter man who committed crimes out of desperation, he changes after being shown kindness, dedicating his life to helping others. His journey intertwines personal redemption with acts of heroism. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Severus Snape. Hero's journey, Harry Potter. Harry's hero journey spans all 7 books as he grows, learns about his past, and ultimately confronts Voldemort. Redemption arc. Snape, who initially appears to be a dark, conflicted figure, is later revealed to have been working to protect Harry out of love and guilt for past mistakes. His redemption arc shows how even morally complex characters can find purpose and redemption, contributing to the hero's larger journey, right? So this is entertainment, but it also is in real life. So I've said before that we are living in the villain era, okay? And I mean it when I say it. And we just gonna have to see examples so we can understand fully what that means and what it looks like, okay? But we are definitely in what is called the villains era. We are in the Kali Yuga, which is the villains era in a sense. But yeah, we're here. We're fucking here right now, okay? So here's some iconic movies with villains as the main characters. If you want to go ahead and do a deep dive on the villain, right? And how this relates to the redemption arc and the hero journey and all of this. But check this out. American Psycho, one of my favorite movies. That's when I was first introduced to Christian Bale, who played Batman. Okay, crazy. That takes you through the mind of the European, the westernized, the psychosis or the psycho mind of the European man. All right, or the Western man. The Wolf of Wall Street. All right, Jordan Belfort. Right, the bad guy. Say hello to the bad guy that everybody wanted to be like. You know what I mean? The way that they shot that movie and whatnot, people, aspired to be like my nigga. They wanted to be like the wolf. Okay. The Joker, right? Of course, that speaks for itself. A Clockwork Orange, directed by Stanley Kubrick. This dystopian film features Alex DeLarge, a delinquent who engages in extreme violence. The story critiques societal control and the nature of free will, leaving viewers unsettled by Alex's lack of remorse. Scarface. Okay, Tony Montana. Say hello to the bad guy, right? A Cuban immigrant who becomes powerful drug lord in Miami. The film that basically got the whole goddamn generation before me into becoming fucking delinquents and drug dealers and whatnot. They wanted to become kingpins. It was Scarface that kind of like did that. You know what I mean? Despicable Me, my nigga Gru. You know what I mean? He's a super villain who plans to steal the moon but undergoes a transformation after adopting 3 orphan girls. Nightcrawler, Goodfellas. Goodfellas. Henry Hill. He was a snitch. Henry Hill is a snitch. Henry Hill told on the mafia, but the way that Martin Scorsese filmed that shit with my nigga Ray Liotta and whatnot, you fell in love with Henry Hill. You fell in love with the character. You feel me? The talented Mr. Ripley, when Matt Damon was Tom Ripley, a con artist who becomes obsessed with the wealthy Dickie Greenleaf. You was rooting for Matt Damon to take on multiple personalities and to be deceiving and manipulative, you were rooting for him. That's the way that they wrote it. Megamind. Yeah, you said American Gangster, right? With my dude. You was rooting for Denzel in the movie. Okay. So you have Maleficent, you know what I mean? You got Wicked, you got Cruella, you got Venom, right? Venom is a main character, but he's the villain and whatnot. You got Breaking Bad as a TV series. Walter White, my nigga, people loved him. You have the thing right? That's a fucking serial killer. Suicide Squad. Niggas was falling in love with the fucking girl Harley Quinn. Megamind, Despicable Me, like it goes on and on and on. Okay, it goes on and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? The one of the biggest movies that never came. Oh, here it go. Here my nigga go. He right there. Jonathan Majors. Kang the motherfucking Conqueror. I'm so upset that they didn't put that movie, that they backed out of that movie and whatnot, because he's the ultimate villain. He's the ultimate villain. And they would have written that shit beautifully and whatnot. But of course, you got Killmonger. You know what I'm talking about? The dude at the bottom, he's the Krill from Secret. What is that? Secret War? Something. Yeah, the Marvel shit. You know what I'm saying? So, what are the benefits of the villain era, of entering the villain era? Self-pride, you know what I mean? So keep in mind, there's two villain eras that are being talked about. Like for the women, when a woman goes, oh, she gets divorced or she gets cheated on, or niggas is sleeping on her, or somebody pops the balloon on one of the dating shows, she's in her villain era. I'm in my villain era. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my Sex in the City shit. I'm on my villain era. You know what I mean? I'm on, I'm on my Glorilla shit. You know what I'm talking about? I'm on my Glorilla shit. You know what I'm talking about? Fuck nigga free. Right? So self-prioritization and empowerment. It allows you to put yourself first and prioritize your own needs and well-being. Gives you your power back, and it is empowering to stand up for yourself. Boundary setting. It enables you to set and enforce clear boundaries with others. Communicate standards for how you want to be treated. Number 3, mental health and peace. Provides peace of mind, can lead to less frustration, anger, resentment, and burnout. Number 4, improve relationships. Allows you to form opinions on who to trust and who is emotionally safe. Can lead to a healthier, mutually supportive relationships. Strengthens genuine connections. Number 5, self-care and personal growth. More time for self-care. Allows you to honor your own needs. Help you to take responsibility of your life. I mean, that's basically my whole timeline. That's all I see. Protection from negative influences. Acts as a narcissist / energy vampire repellent. It helps determine who's genuine and who's not. Number 7, breaking free from people pleasing. Challenges the habit of constantly trying to please others at your own expense. Encouraging saying no without guilt or explanation. Authenticity. Promotes living unapologetically and being true to yourself. Encouraging channeling dark feminine energy and embracing less socially acceptable parts of yourself. Reevaluation of priorities. Prompts you to reassess and align your priorities with your authentic self and goals. Removal of toxic relationships. Encourages cutting ties with harmful or draining relationships. Somebody said Issa Rae. Yes, that's the whole fucking plot or the whole series of Insecure right here, and played through different characters, correct? I'm gonna let this sit right here real quick, because I told y'all that we in the villain era and y'all didn't believe me, huh? I told you that we in the villain era and y'all didn't believe me. And within the span of me saying that, all 3 of these villains came back out of purgatory. All 3 of them. All 3. Yeah, Carlito from Carlito's Way. Is that happenstance? Like, I've never, when I really sit back and think about it, there's never really been a time where something like this happened in such a short amount of time. What if they have a fucking Young Thug Vibes Cartel, BMF homecoming party. What is that going to look like? What is that going to look like? Now, we could say what we could say. I don't, like I said, you know, I'm gonna let God judge certain people. These three have a current. They represent currency. There's money. Money is going to be made because they're home. Because these are a current. They each one are currents. And currents transform or translate to currencies. The same way that they say if Donald Trump gets into office, more money is going to hit the streets because he's a current. And by him just being in the seat is going to create currency. It's all in energy. So these niggas, each one of them are a current. BMF, Big Meech, is the biggest current out of all three of them. Okay? He was the one who made people go from really ashy to classy and think completely bigger than how they was thinking before. It wasn't a lot of bodies dropping. It wasn't a murder ramp. I would say Vibes Cartel, out of all three, he might be the one that got the most bloodshed tied to him. And from what I remember, I don't know. But this is an underworld thing. And I'm not speaking about the people at your water cooler or where you work at in corporate America. No, I'm talking about the underworld because that's the foundation. That's where the current runs through. It runs through the underworld first. It runs through the dirt. It runs through the trenches. It don't come from the top down. That's not how our communities work. It starts from the bottom up. I told you when the show started earlier, this is some street shit. Not to promote street activity. I'm your tour guide into the deepest, darkest caverns of the underworld, and I'm gonna emboss my mind and share with you a vision. My head is tilted. I look at things different than how you look at things. I got a tilted head, my nigga. So I look at shit from a different angle. I'm just able to see things from a different angle. I mean, don't judge me. You know what I'm talking about? Just don't judge me. But my head tilted, so I see shit from a different angle. I don't look at things straight up the way that you might see it. The underworld is the shit. It's the wiring. It's the motherboard. You understand? It's the foundation, regardless of what you want to say. In all communities, their underworld is what's really powering a lot of things. They have underworlds. They have hidden worlds. In Atlanta, there's a whole world that comes out at night. You know what I'm saying? The niggas that you don't even see in the daytime. It is a new world at night in Atlanta. It comes alive. It completely switches over, and the vampires, the goblins, the goons, and the freaks come out. I'm sure the same thing happens in Jamaica. They go to party at 2 a.m. in Jamaica. A different group of people to come out. When I would the club that I had that got shot up in Atlanta, the after hours shit, it was fucking demons and goblins that would come up in that bitch that you'll never see in the daytime. They would come out the house at 3 a.m. That's how you got the afterlife. They have a what do they call that? They got a in Atlanta, there's a whole subculture of the after party after, you know what I mean? Like the because Atlanta closes at 2 a.m. and then you have you have a whole nother fucking a whole nother culture post 2 a.m. that comes out. You know? Yeah, Las Vegas and all of that. Let's not even talk about the thug shit. Oh yeah, after hours is the word I was looking for. It's called after hours. There's a whole after hours graveyard shift, right? There's a whole after hours world in Atlanta, and you do not see them in the daytime. They're vampires for real. They probably sleep in boxes or something. They come out after the fucking hours, and I ain't talking about midnight. These niggas coming out 3 a.m. type shit, and they outside to like 8 or 9 type shit for real. Who used to go to Club Space in Atlanta and in Miami? That was the ecstasy days back in those days. Club Space, right? Right there in Brickell. I remember when I went up in that bitch, I was like, God damn, where's Blade at? You know what I'm saying? I was looking for Wesley Snipes because it was a lot of vampires in there. For real. There was a lot of vampires in there. Shit looks cool. It was kind of crazy. So, yeah. Somebody said when you rolling, it hit different. Yeah, niggas was, these people that don't sleep for 3 days. You know what I'm saying? They on that methamphetamines and shit like that. These people are heavily drugged up. They don't even have a concept of time. Yeah, Club Space with DJ Irie. Yes. Right? So all 3 of them came home. All 3 of them have a redemption arc. Big Meech is not going to go back to selling drugs and talking about, he's not doing that. Vibes Cartel, whoever does out of these 3, whoever does some dumb shit, the universe is going to snatch them up immediately and spank them. You're going to see it. You can't hide anymore. They're going to spank the shit out of them in the public. You will see them get spanked because they all got second chances. You know what I'm saying? They all got second chances. So look at what Shine did when he came home. Shine is about to be the damn prime minister of Belize. Look at what Wallow did. There's examples out there. These niggas can never say that they don't have an example. We're dealing with a different time than we had before. Before it wasn't even cool to come home and change your clothes and whatnot. Now it's you are the dumbest, weirdest, most corniest nigga if you come home and you don't change clothes. If you come home and you don't level up. If you come home and you don't become a businessman. 50 Cent said anything that Meech wants, he can have. 50 Cent just bought a $900,000 film studio in fucking Shreveport. I said Shreveport. In Shreveport, Louisiana. If this nigga picks up a fucking blunt, my nigga, he deserves to go back to jail for life. He's the dumbest nigga alive. And I doubt that I don't think, he's not dumb. We got interviews with Big Meech. You know what I'm saying? Blue Pill has an unreleased interview with that man. He's not slow. He's not dumb. You know what I mean? He ain't no nigga. He's one of them intelligence that could play dumb. Everybody can't play dumb. Everybody can't play the fool. All wise men, a wise man could play a fool, but a fool could never play a wise man. Vibes Cartel, he got that little Indian chick with him or whatever, she Turkey or whatever. She gonna make sure that he walk a straight line. Mariah the scientist, Thug's mama, his children and everybody, they're going to make sure that he walks a straight line. There's nothing that he can gain from being around Bloods or gang members that can help him moving forward. He gotta let that shit go. And if he lets that shit go, that's how you save these little fucking rugrats. That's how you save these babies. You make it uncool so you can now shame these little niggas like, oh, y'all want to still be thugging? Y'all niggas still want to be a gang member? You still want to be banging? You still want to be thugging? You a fucking fool. But you can't necessarily shame them because these niggas are shameless. But these are the ways that you shame them because you got to point to the people that they look up to. I'm speaking about intervention, how to save children. Let me just, because people might be like, what is he ranting about? I'm speaking specifically about how to save our youth. That's who the fuck I care about. That's where my heart is. Okay, my heart is in the youth. My heart is in the future. So I know that they getting all type of shit. They're going through a Holocaust right now, and the only ones that can help them is the niggas who they look up to. That nobody else can speak to them. But once they speak to them and say, "Go and check out Red Pill, go and check out Blue Pill, go and check out 19 Keys, go and check out this person, go and check out that person," when they say it to them, they're gonna do it. Because I've seen them do it when they told them to do it. That's how it works. That's how you redeem yourself and you save millions. You understand? That's how it works. There's gonna be some dumbass kids that are gonna be like, "Oh, this nigga Thug didn't get no time. He was able to. I'm a bang harder." They're gonna get their shit blown off. They're gonna get life. It's not about. It's about who's astute enough to learn a lesson. That's who survives. That's who thrives. Fuck everybody else. If you're not astute enough, you gotta come back and try again. This wasn't for you. Everybody doesn't have the same favor. Everybody's cards don't read the same. So it's the ones who can take clues as to when the spirit or the universe is speaking and whatnot, and they could take that and pivot and do something better with life. Those are going to be the ones that will be favored. The ones that still want to carry on and do the dumb shit, they're going to be buried, either buried alive or they're going to get buried in a motherfucking potter's grave and whatnot, because the universe is speaking to them right now. This is all divine intervention. This is a thug holiday, my niggas. The pimp god Sherrod is moving pieces around and he's trying to help you niggas. So if we was to pick one of these rappers to freedom, which one would it be? Which one would it be? And let me look and see. Who would I pick? These some ugly ass Negroes, boy. Look at Diddy. Man, salute to them. You know, I would free Dirk. Me personally. Only because, you know, I really feel that he is trying to redeem himself. And, you know, I would free Dirk out of all of that. I don't even know, you know, I would free Dirk. You said Sue Surf. Yeah, I understand that. I would free Dirk. I don't know. I feel like Dirk is going through the same thing that Thug went through. He has to go through the fire. He gotta go through the fire. And if he makes it out the fire, once again, here's my equation on how I do it. And so we don't have to be confused. This is how it works. There's two ways out. Now, remember, drill rappers are not the same as any. These are a bunch of rappers up here. But if you a drill rapper, it's almost like when you go to jail, they're going to separate you from certain inmates or general population, put you in a red jumpsuit. If you're a drill rapper, you are in the industry with a red jumpsuit on, right? You have a red ID and you have a red jumpsuit, right? You different than everybody else because you are at war, right? So when they got the shit in jail, they put people in red jumpsuits because they cut more than the average. They more violent, or they fighting a homicide and whatnot. So they're deemed to be way more violent than the regular inmates. So you can't mix them up with everybody else because these people are violent prone. So drill rappers are violent prone because they are literally rappers that are in engaged in warfare on a 24/7 basis. Some of these other niggas is playing tough, but they're not at war like that. They're not rapping about killing. They're not rapping about who they killed or who's trying to kill them. They don't have somebody trying to knock their heads off. So with that being said, there's only two ways out for a drill rapper: death or jail. Name me one drill rapper that's chilling with their feet kicked up right now and is laid back. And please don't say Chief Keef. He's the exception and not the rule, right? But he made it out to a degree, but he could never fully be all the way out, if you understand what I'm saying. And there's no telling if the motherfucking feds ever want to pull a Rico on his ass that they wouldn't wind up doing something like that. But give me the name, because there's you niggas knew hundreds of drill rappers. You knew hundreds of them who's chilling with their feet up and they don't have beef with their ops no more. And they could just walk in public with their mamas and their baby mamas, and they don't have to have security, and they could rock with their chain out, and they could go to their city and whatnot and walk around. Who? None of them. G Herbo lies. So anyway, G Herbo just beat a fucking case where his ass was about to go to the pokey for a very ass long time. He's on probation. tied up, my nigga, and they still want to body him. He's not free from somebody trying to kill him. Bobby, who? Bobby, not Bobby Shmurda. That's not dude. Somebody said Ice Spice. Anyway, there's two ways out: either death or jail. So if you get locked up, because there's only two options. You can't remain free. Bobby, Bibby, Lil Bibby may be an exception to the rule, right? Lil Bibby may be an exception to the rule. He was able to get out and become an executive. He lost his artist, but he's still able to function and whatnot. So cool. Like I said, there's anomalies and whatnot. But please don't ever say no Bobby Shmurda, because I don't even consider him a drill rapper. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's a big pause after his name anyways. Huge pause. I'm talking about niggas that's active. Shit, Katie got bands. Okay. So if you get locked up, then that means that you're favored to not get killed, because enough people have gotten killed in drill, right? To show you that the way that wheel spins, more people have gotten killed, right, in that culture than even gotten locked up. When you get killed, you're out of favor. You can't get back. There's no coming back after you get your shit pushed back, and they got your fucking obituary and your murder scene on Reddit, and they passing your picture around in lunchrooms in suburbia, high school America, looking at holes in your head. That's what white people do. They look at the murder scenes. They love that. They into the murder scenes. Adam 22 said that he gets an erection when he looks at the murder scenes of black children. Do you know that? Adam 22. These niggas are still going up there with this weird ass white boy and whatnot. And he said that he gets off by looking at the murder scenes of drill rappers, right? It's a whole cottage industry of that. I mean, I don't even want to take you down that rabbit hole. But anyway, if you don't get your shit pushed back, you get locked up, right? You can't necessarily. So once again, there's three ways out. There's not necessarily two ways out. There's three ways out. There's freedom, there's jail, and then there's death. But the way that you're going to see freedom is the way the Young Thug saw freedom, through jail. Now walk with me. I don't know too many drill rappers, because y'all bringing up people like Fabio. No, they just did, the shit didn't catch up to them. Don't talk to me about a drill rapper that's still active. They're still in the movie. What the fuck? Like, he could get killed any day. He could get his shit pushed back. He could get a RICO any day. These are active rappers. No, you can't even equate them. You could wake up tomorrow and a nigga dead. That's how that shit happens. Nobody is out of the clear, bro. None of them are out of the clear. They're all at risk every single day of being killed. Every single one of them, because they have ops, and their ops are active. And the main reason for their ops even existing is to kill them. Is to kill them. So the way that they come out of that scenario is by going to jail and then beating it and then being able to come home. And by doing that, they redeem themselves. They free themselves of the chains, because the war between Lucci, YFN, and Thug is over now. That war is over. You can't fight it anymore. Thug was buried alive with life on his shoulders, and he beat it. So in the mind of Christian mothers and people that are spiritual, he's favored, right? He's favored because he was able to go through the adversity, and he was favored by God, because this is only God's plan. Nobody else could do this but God. It's too many niggas in jail for it just randomly saying, "There, you just beat your case." No, nigga, that was God's work. That's God's plan. He's favored. So he gets to clean All of his sins are clean now. All of his sins are cleaned off of them. Now he is able to be a free man and get out of that prison that he put himself in by going to war with another man inside of this rap game, by drilling, by being engaged in drill and whatnot. You understand how that works? So the only way that you can redeem yourself and truly live comfortable where you're not looking over your shoulders saying to yourself, is the police going to come today? Are they going to come for me today? Are they going to come for me today? I'm having federal nightmares. Is that you got to you have to actually face that fear. And when you face that fear, whether it's going to be for 1 week or it's going to be for 1 year or it's going to be for 4 years, if you could face that fear and walk through that fire and walk out of that motherfucking jail as a free man, that right there is the redemption arc. Game over, touchdown. That's the only way that they could get out of it. The drill rappers, that is. The drill rappers, that is. Even the ones that do time and come home, it's not the same as when you beat the trial or you look at what King Von did. King Von was locked up for them bodies and everything, and then he beat it, and he came home, and he was lit. Okay? He beat it, he came home, he was lit. So there's 2 ways out of this drill shit, and there's a special exception 3 ways, and it doesn't usually happen as a 0.1% that they will be able to get away from the motherfucking fate that awaits them, right? By beating trial, because they say that you can't beat the feds like that, and a lot of niggas are definitely proof that that doesn't happen. I don't give a fuck who your lawyer is. So if Little Durk is able to make it through the fire, I don't know what he did. Only he knows what he did. That has nothing to do with me. I don't know what that man did. I don't know what he's responsible for. You know what I mean? I don't know what his hand is called for. I don't know. What I do know is that he been locked up 20 some odd times before in his past and whatnot. So he has to have some type of favor that he's not doing 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Because it's niggas that got locked up one time and got hit with 40 years and 30 years. So he obviously has something working for him. The reason why our community is so fucking sad is because if somebody don't have an ankh, or they're not a part of the religion, or they're not eating a fucking a kale salad, our people will automatically start throwing rocks and judging and being like, oh my goodness. And you know what I mean? And you know, the most spiritual people on the planet, remind you that y'all supposed to be the most spiritual people. Y'all supposed to be uplifting fallen humanity. You know what I mean? Your heart's supposed to be as light as a feather. But I haven't seen nobody in this community even put no favor on these motherfucking these children that need help. And I'm not talking about this lineup right here. I'm just talking about anybody out there that's down and out. Anybody out there that's in the street. I don't see people showing compassion and stuff like that. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. So these kids, right? Keep in mind, look at these older men, right? These are older men, right? And these children are influenced by these older men, right? So these little niggas are going through what my generation went through when we was outside, because we was outside at 12 and 13 and whatnot. And we was getting cased up. We had, you know, multiple felonies and cases that we were fighting, probation. I think at one time I had probation on 4 different names and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? We was really outside like that. We was off the fucking chain. So this new generation, they're called the crash outs. They're 100, they might be 20 times worse than us, right? These little niggas are possessed. They on demon time. These are like 10 and 12-year-olds drinking formaldehyde and lean and opioids and, you know what I mean? Neglected children and whatnot, crack babies, test tube babies and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? So one of them just got 10 years today, right? So he's going to go through his journey, and hopefully after those 10 years, he'll be able to become a better person. Because like I said, I remember a whole generation when I was younger, and this was the age that they was getting locked up at. This was the age that they was getting locked up at, right? And then they was coming home in their early 20s, you know what I'm saying? And then going back, and they had to figure it out. So this fucking retard, this little nigga, he's taking jail pictures with a shank, with a motherfucking the shit look like a Jason knife and whatnot. So he just can't get enough of that life. So he went, the judge was able, they pulled that up in court. They showed that to the judge. Like, look at this little nigga with a shank, with a contraband, you know what I mean? Inside of the motherfucking thing, inside of the pokey, inside of the jail and whatnot. So they smacked his ass with 10 years. So they sending these little boys up the motherfucking river. You know what I mean? They sending them up the river, and these kids are eating that time like it's nothing. Okay. So while the older people are beginning to wisen up, there's still a lost generation that's crashing out, right? So based off of the way that this year has been set up, because they letting the villains come home, based off of the way that this year has been set up, where they're letting a lot of people out of the quote unquote underworld and purgatory, everybody's bets is that Tory is coming home on the next one before the end of the year, because Miss what's her name, Meg Thee Stallion, admitted that she lied, right, to Gayle King about having sex with him. So they like, shit, if you lied about that, then god damn it, you can't be trusted. What else the fuck did you lie about, sis? Like, what else did you fabricate? So people have their fingers crossed, and he was found innocent by the appellate. He did an appeal, and he was found innocent because they were withholding information, and they were withholding certain quote unquote evidence, and they're waiting for the state of LA to respond, right? And we'll see how that works out. And you see Nicki Minaj, she's pushing, so when you have people, think about it, when there's thousands or millions of people that are against you, that kind of equates to a spiritual quote unquote lockdown. It's hard to get favor when there's millions of people that are like, hang them, burn them. But when you have millions of people that are in your favor and they're calling for your release and they're retweeting shit and they're sending that energy out into the universe, then you could connect with the Wi-Fi signal of your favor way quicker, if you understand what that means. So I put this up on my page, and oh my goodness, they went super crazy. I mean, I struck so many nerves and whatnot, but this is what I do. Like I say, my head is tilted, so I see things differently. And I love to engage my audience. I'm not going to get up there and say no shit that everybody else is saying. I'm always going to throw a curveball, and I'm always going to challenge people to see things differently. I'm left-handed, and I'm a Scorpio, and it's Scorpio season. So we just do things differently. I ask, what if his spiritual mission is to go through his trials and tribulations? Y'all claim to be on the path, but can't see when others are on theirs. So what I mean by that is this: if I belong to what they call the spiritual community and nobody is speaking spiritually, then somebody is fucking lying at the end of the day. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody is lying, because I know when I took my Shahada, that's when my trials and tribulations started. I took my Shahada in 1991 at A.A. Rashid's house on behest of his mother. She was like, if you're going to stay over here, you're going to become Muslim. And I was like, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with it. You know what I mean? Because that's something that I wanted to explore. And the reason why I was at his house is because I ran away from home and I was on some bullshit at 16. You understand? I was having quote unquote, what do they call that? I was at risk. I was an at-risk youth, and I wanted to be grown and whatnot. And I was living beyond my britches. Okay. Because once again, we were exposed to the streets at like 12 and 13. So by the time I was 16, I was already burnt out. You know what I mean? I was already rebelling and you know, running away and staying out overnight and doing all kind of shit because my father was very strict. Okay, my father was very strict. So I was like, yo, I want to be outside. I was acting like I was missing something. You know what I mean? When in hindsight, I wasn't missing anything. I have a 16-year-old right now, and every day I give thanks to the fact that, you know, I've done a lot of things in my life to clean up my karma and whatnot, and my son didn't put me through what I put my father through, because my anxiety, I already have separation anxiety, the fact that I'm not with him every fucking day, but the way that my anxiety is worked out, I can't deal with the stress. I couldn't deal with the shit that if he put me through half of what I put my dad through, I couldn't take it. I would not be able to do Melanin Mondays and Third Eye Thursdays, my niggas. You know what I'm talking about? I'll probably be working construction with a bald head and just, you know what I mean? Just, you know, I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to do this. It would be too much. It would be too much, bro. I put my peoples through a lot. So the minute I took my Shahada, I was getting spanked by Allah. I was getting spanked, my nigga. And I went to jail shortly after that, around the same time. Like, I just seen my son's graduation pictures, like the proofs and whatnot. And I was talking to his mother, and I was like, yo, I had to take my GED because I spent 6 months on Rikers Island in my senior year, bro. And I couldn't even graduate. I couldn't even make my dad proud. My dad is a fucking professor. I couldn't even make my father proud because I did 6 months in C-74 because I wanted to be a fucking knucklehead. You know what I mean? And now here it is. I have a son straight graduating, and he did what I didn't do. And this is my oldest. And I'm like, that shit means something to me. You know what I mean? That really mean. I damn near was crying looking at them pictures, because I'm like, you know, I had to thank his mother, like, yo, we did a great job, yo. The shit happened real fast. He got older quick. He was a little boy last time I checked. He was little Lemire. And now he's damn near going to college. Well, I don't think I'm gonna send him to college, but you know what I'm saying. I've been through a lot, and I don't brag about it, and I don't say it in a way to where it's nothing to brag about. It was a sad journey, bro. It was a sad journey. You know, we glamorize certain things, and we put lipstick on a pig. We try to sprinkle some Sazone on it, but me and Blue Pill, we went through a sad childhood because the streets don't love nobody, and we was in a relationship where it was very abusive. Imagine having a mother that's curing AIDS. Imagine having a stepfather that's curing AIDS and curing cancer and all of this. And they looking at you like, yo, are you going to step up? And you know, KT made us look like fools, bro. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. KT stepped up and he filled the role that we were supposed to fill. Real talk. He came in and he was like, nah, I'll pick up the baton and whatnot, and I'm gonna make my mama proud, and we're gonna handle this. Me and my brother, we was lost for years, bro. For years. We could have been, you know, on Pelican Bay doing life if shit went there, you know what I mean? If we wasn't favored, if we didn't have angels around us, you know, staring us in certain directions and whatnot. That's why I treat this conscious shit like a saving grace, you know what I mean? And you know, it was the thing that brought me to my redemption arc. Real talk. It brought me to my redemption arc. So I'm not here to, you know, people was in my chat like, oh, he a Muslim and the Arab slavery. I said, fam, I'm not here for all that. I never expected Little Dirk to pop out with an ankh talking about, yo, I'm on higher level conversations and all of that. That you don't just do that overnight. You have to walk the walk. There's a path that you have to walk to get you to even knock on the doors where we at. We don't, nigga, we sitting in some mansions high in the sky. You just can't become one of us. You just can't become one of us because you want to. In order to become one of us, you have to walk a path to get to where we at. So I'm like, Islam saved my life. You know what I'm talking about? I was on Rikers Island. If it was not for C-70 10 lower with the Muslims and whatnot, nigga, that shit was no joke. The Nietas and the fucking Latin Kings, this is 1993, nigga. They was not playing. They was not playing, bro. They were playing. They was taking heads in that motherfucking building. So Islam, beyond that, besides that, just Islam, just learning about something that was, that drew me in, the camaraderie that I saw. You know what I mean? I went through Ramadan when we converted and whatnot, and I got exposed to Africans from the continent who were Sufi, who were really going hard. The Africans with red eyes and whatnot. They eat out of a pot with their hands type shit. We was doing shit like that. You know what I mean? I got exposed to real Islam, Africanism, African Islam, not Arab Islam. African Islam, magic, my nigga. I seen shit that, you know what I'm talking about? I seen real fucking shit with these Senegalese and all of them. You know what I mean? So when I see the brothers embracing religion, I'm not gonna knock you. I'm not gonna knock you. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna stop you from West African. I'm sorry, not East African. It was the West African Muslims and whatnot. But that goes back into my Moorish history. I embraced Islam at a young age, but then later on in life, I learned about the Moors, and I'm able to connect the fact that I was tapping into my ancestry. I was tapping into my quote unquote. I was sitting with those West Africans because I sat with those West African hundreds of years ago on my Moorish shit. Nothing has changed. So you are who you was before you got here. Life is a cycle. It's centrifugal. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna cross paths with the people that you've been crossing paths with. So let me read this. I said, Little Dirk dropped his flag and gave his life to Allah, and y'all still trying to claim him and shame him like he's a part of your circle or family. What I mean by that is that you got knuckle draggers from Chicago and the internet and whatnot trying to claim Little Dirk, not realizing what religion is. And it's different than it's the same with Christianity. If somebody gives their life to Christ and whatnot, they're not part of your tribe anymore. They're not a part of your circle anymore. They're part of that. They gave themselves up to that. The same way if somebody takes an initiation into a gang and whatnot, you can't claim them. You can't hold them to your standards. You can't look at them like they part of what you live like. No, I don't have nothing to do with your world anymore. I'm in it, but not of it. I'm part of this world. I belong to this world. I don't even recognize your world anymore. So you can't judge me and you can't hold me to your standards because we don't even belong to the same world. You see how that works? So for everybody online judging this man and trying to act like, no, nigga, he's not a part of your world anymore. I know y'all think that y'all OTF. I know y'all think y'all gang and whatnot, but he dropped his flag. He said, I'm not with that anymore. He got everybody on O Block praying and making salat. You know what I mean? Even though it's some gangster Islam shit, but I like I said, I've seen gangster Islam I seen it working. I seen it in action. I seen it work. I know how that shit functions and whatnot. And I'm not, because you have military arms of all type of religions. The fuck, you know what I mean? You're gonna need niggas to get busy somewhere. But it's giving you discipline. It's giving you submitting to something greater than you. It's helping you search within. You're reading the Quran. You got to wake up at 5 a.m. and put in the motherfucking prayers. You can't fake it all the way. You gotta have some foot into that shit to even do the Muslim shit, the Islam shit. So true Muslims know that he's on a spiritual journey reserved for adherents with great potential. So what I mean by a spiritual journey, even though he's embraced religion and whatnot, it's still spiritual because his journey is a journey now of fire, and he's on a spiritual journey. He wants to get his spirit right. He wants to clean his spirit. He wants to connect his spirit with, he has multiple children. He has dead relatives. His brother got killed and whatnot. He might want to go through a spiritual mission. And by doing it, because remember, you still have spirituality in Islam. You have Sufism, you have spirituality in Christianity, you have Christ consciousness. Not some shit where you a holy roller and you just on some Bible shit. No, you tapping into your Christ consciousness. So he has a messianic force. You understand? I mean, it's undeniable. He has a messianic force. Out of the old Blockians and all of these niggas out of Chicago, all of them didn't have it. But the reason why they go to war in places like Chicago and in Philadelphia is because they killed the messiahs. That's who they named the blocks after. You could go and look at the pictures of some of the niggas that get killed. Not all of them, but you'll look at the pictures when you look at these documentaries, and it'll be a little Ray Sean or Quantavious, and they're like 13 or 14. But when you look at them, they have messianic features, right? There's a glow, there's a light. They killed the Messiah, and the niggas in the hood would be like, "Yo, nah, this is old block," or they'll name the block after that person because that person was the one who was in the hearts of his friends. He was in their hearts. You understand? There's some niggas that get killed and you forget about them. Like, damn, that's fucked up. That was the homie and whatnot. Then there's some niggas that get killed and you be like, yo, we gonna name the block after him. We gonna get the tattoos on our neck and we riding. Right? The messianic ones. So I can't judge a person who is on a path because they're gonna who am I to judge? If you on a path and you faking the funk, you get spanked. I don't have to judge you. My hands are clean. I don't live with, because when you judge a person, you got to watch out for the karma that you accrue. You understand? You got to be very careful by judging certain people because you accrue karma when you do that. So let me read it. True Muslims know that he's on a spiritual journey reserved for adherents with great potential. His life was spared from the ultimate fate most drill rappers face, and that's losing their face when a shooter stands over them. His faith will have to be strong and sincere, and hopefully will be strengthened during his journey. He has life, which is the most important factor, right? Meaning that he's still alive. As long as you're still alive, as long as you have life in your lungs, I don't give a fuck about life in jail. You could get broken out. You know what I mean? The world could go into anarchy in your fucking 80th year in there. I don't know. I mean, possibilities exist, but no possibilities exist when you're dead. You're gonna come back as a boss baby. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna come back as one of them babies with the ice grill and whatnot. You got to try all over again. You don't get a second chance. But if you have your life, right? That's why I say there's two options that you, as a drill rapper, actually getting locked up is the favorable option. Losing your life is the L. There's two ways out. These little niggas is getting 40 years. You're going to come home with some gray hairs, but you're going to come home, right? You're going to come home. The kingpins are coming home right now to do podcasts. These little niggas got multiple, they was doing all kind of heinous shit. But they got niggas that died that will never come home. You understand? At least they're coming home to, you know what I mean, to try it all over again, to figure it out again, to have a second chance. And then if it does happen that he has to serve life in jail, so what? He understood that he was about to die because people so close. Once people real close to you start dying, we all saw Scarface. Huh? We know, nigga, it's almost over. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You remember Scarface? He was secluded in that little room or with all of that coke on the table. Everybody close to him, his sister, Manolo, everybody got clipped. Everybody was dead. Some at his hands. So his world was closing in on him. So some of these kids that's on Percocets and lean and everything, and they drugged out of their minds, and they got pharmacopoeia all in their system. They defocalized and whatnot. They could feel the fucking walls closing in on them. They're paranoid. They're living in paranoia and whatnot. They're having nightmares. People to kill. They have nightmares of the people that they killed and whatnot. They're not living a comfortable life. Niggas jumping out of their sleep. You know what I'm saying? They don't live a comfortable life. They're not living the life, nigga. Don't ever try to envy and want to be a killer or want to be one of these drug dealers or want to be a street nigga. I'm here to let you know that's the wackest shit ever. It's trauma based. Okay? It's PTSD behind that. You understand? You will be haunted if you out here taking lives and whatnot. You can't get around the fact that you're gonna be haunted. You want to be haunted? You want to be haunted? When you could have just been a regular civilian and lived your life with a tough face, who cares you have a tough face? You don't got to be tough. Well, do this. Be tough. Be tough when Trump becomes president. When you just stand on your fucking square, if Trump and all of the Tucker Carlson niggas become, start getting rowdy and what, then you could be tough. You know what I'm saying? Then you could stand on business. But you will be haunted if you killing your own for some shit. So let's continue. I said everybody want heaven, but nobody want to die. What does that mean? Everybody want heaven, but don't want to die. So Little Dirk literally has to kill Little Dirk so he could become Big Dirk. His father's name is Big Dirk, but eventually Little Dirk has to take the role of his father and become Big Dirk. You know what I'm saying? So the only way that he's going to become Big Dirk is by going through the fire. His whole life, he's been going through the fire. He'll be okay. If he have to do life, so what? He made that decision. He'll be all right. I promise you. He's alive. He'll be an imam. He'll be able to turn people's lives around. It's niggas that's in the feds that just want to touch the hems on his garment right now. It's niggas in the feds that just want to pray with Dirk right now. It's niggas in the feds that just want to talk to Dirk right now. They just want to look at Dirk. He'll give them hope when he's on the yard. It's niggas that was on the yard that saw a Big Meech on the yard and came home and started doing podcasts and was like, yo, I want to do better in life. I was locked up and I seen Meech, right? Thug motivation. You know what I'm saying? Thug motivation. Niggas need motivation. And you cannot choose who we gonna motivate ourselves with. That's not how it works. Stop trying to control us. You cannot choose who motivates people. It's just, it be like that. Some people get motivated by old white men. You know what I mean? Some niggas is on Warren Buffett's timeline. Some people get motivated by bad what they call baddies and whatnot. You know, they like a little BBL to motivate them. Oh shit, look at the BBL. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go to the gym and work on my lunges and my crunches. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm motivated. I want to, you know what I mean? If I ever do run into that BBL, I want to make something happen. So they're gonna work on their Kegels. They're gonna work on their Kegels because it's motivation. We all need motivation, however we see it. So Big Meech is motivation for the streets to get to it and whatnot. And him coming home, he don't have to lift a finger, say nothing. He don't got to do anything. The fact that they seen him come out of the cage alive is enough for niggas to get back on their jobs and get to this bread and whatnot and turn this motherfucking recession around. I promise you, a year from today, there's not going to be a recession the way that it was right now. The money or the currency is going to be back. It's going to be back. And not on some illegal shit either. It's going to be back on some legal shit. Imagine if the first interview that Big Meech gave was with Earn Your Leisure. Because quiet as kept, he was the nigga who was giving niggas that entrepreneurial mind state when he popped out. Big Meech, that is. Everybody's not a drug dealer. What if he came on EYL to talk business? Like, yeah, I'm on my business shit. I'm trying to do movies, and you know what I mean? I want some stocks. I'm trying to get down with the motherfucking the red panda. You know what I mean? Anyway, everybody want heaven, but nobody want to die. So in order to become who you want to become, you got to kill the person that you are. You got to die. So you got to get on that cross. Him going to jail and getting a RICO, that's the cross. Young Thug was on the cross. Young Thug died, right? It's no longer, it's truly humble under God now. The other person that you knew, he died. So in order for him to get to heaven, he got to die. So he had to do those 3 years away from the family, purgatory. That's called sacrifice. Everybody can't do it. Niggas be folding and telling and hanging up and all of that. Everybody not built for that. But if you could make it through the fire, if you could make it through the fire, if you could make it through the adversity, if you could make it through all of that, you have a reward at the end of that road. There's something waiting for you. That's just nigga dynamics. And it have nothing to do with black people. It's all around the border. It's all around the border. I'm not defending anybody. For the record, I'm not defending anybody. I'm speaking sense about certain things without being judgmental about everything. That's all I'm doing. I'm just speaking from a standpoint where I'm going to let everybody else judge. There's thousands of videos out there where people are going to judge and they're going to act holier than thou and they're going to cast stones. I just don't want to do that. I chose to take a higher, quote unquote. There's tomorrow's November the 1st. There's a moon coming, and the moon is compelling me to approach this from a vantage point that's a little bit different from the average vantage point, because the narration or the social commentary that's out there, I don't want to be a part of that. Yeah, I'm objective. I don't want to be a part of that. I think it's very whack. I think it's chatty patty-ish. I think it's Poindexterish. I think it's showing me that none of these people really lived this type of life, so they can't relate. And it's understandable. And everybody has an opinion, and it's all good because it's the internet of today. I can't control the fucking internet. So everybody has an opinion, and that's great. I'm going to speak my piece, though. You know? This conversation is about redemption. This conversation is about what the redemption arc. This conversation is about coming from your worst states, right? Being in your lowest self, coming from your worst states, and how you can make it through your higher state. Spirituality is trials and tribulations. Spirituality is bearing the cross. Spirituality is going through the fire. Spirituality is thinking that you're going to die and not dying, not allowing yourself to die, saying that I am worthy of life. You know what I'm saying? Even though I may have taken a life, even though I may be at war with my brothers and my sisters, even though I may be, quote unquote, the enemy of the state, right? Not giving up on yourself, knowing that there's a bigger purpose. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm not going to stop that. It's fucking Halloween. What you want to talk about? You know what I'm talking about? Trick or treat, nigga. You know what I mean? So are they tricking our people, or are they treating them by letting this man go? Is this going to help the children, or is it going to trick them to think that they could be gangbangers and thugs and motherfucking gang members? Is it going to relax? Is it going to trick these children? Is it going to trick the culture? Is it going to trick these followers to follow in the dumbass footsteps and not get the motherfucking meaning of this whole story that they seeing, right? Because everybody is not comprehending what they're seeing. Everybody can't comprehend. They're so mundane that they just, oh, thug is free. It's time to turn up, nigga. Turn up. Pop a pill. Pop a pill. Is it trick or treat? You gotta ask yourself that. So I said, let's go back to this post. Everybody want heaven, but nobody want to die. This is Little Dirk's road to redemption to become Big Dirk. Only God can judge. At least they slid for Vaughn. You niggas have yet to slide for Trayvon. This is when I start getting into my Scorpio shit and throwing rocks and seeing which one of you niggas are gonna holler. Fanboy culture and these closet Christian niggas secretly hate him because he's Muslim and they still eat pork and butt cheeks. Y'all cast the most stones, but have never been through the fire. And the commentary on this topic is corny as fuck. And it just shows that these chatty patty clout chasers don't have nothing to add but 2 cents. Yeah, I got on their nerves with that. They was so upset. You know what I'm talking about? They was so upset. You know what I mean? But hit dogs bark. And it just had to be said. God damn it. People hated him even before he got locked up. When he popped out in the all white, these fake ass niggas was mad at him because they want to be so fucking they religious and they stuck in their religion ways, or they got out of religion, or something happened to them when they was in religion, so they project. And when they see somebody on the religious path, not the that's the Arab. Nigga, what? You don't have nothing to add but that? You don't got nothing to add but that, nigga? Then that means that you don't have nothing at all. That's all you got to add. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? So that was the post. You know, that was, this is the Tory shit. They go Megan lying and whatnot. She got caught out there lying to Gayle about having sex with Tory Lanez. So, you know, that we're going to see his fate. We're going to see if he is favored and whatnot. His father is heavily into that's Day's son. You know what I mean? They tapped in. The Tory Lanez people. Oh, they tapped in. Please believe me, they tapped in. So miracles can happen. Shout out to LaRussell. A cultural reset is needed. Everything is in disarray. It used to be an honor to get posted and a write-up in a blog. Okay, yeah, he was just saying what he was saying, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? That's my story and I'm sticking to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sticking to it, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? This conversation is about the redemption arc and how that can apply to everybody. I'm using these people as a living example of a lesson. You know what I mean? This is what they call a teacher moment. So I'm utilizing real life human beings to teach my audience, my KTLians, people who I feel are very wise and whatnot. And, you know, y'all get it. Y'all get it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get it. So it is what it is, you know. Before I get out of here, real quick, I gotta throw this video up because this is a clip that we have from our last lecture that we did with Q Reeves. Check this out. Like I said earlier, this is being recorded. You will have access to the replay after tomorrow. Tomorrow you'll have it, and you'll get the email. Peace.
Well, all right. Thank y'all for having me. For those of you who may not know, my name is Q Reeves. Official name is Quentin, but Q Reeves is what I go by on my YouTube channel, my handle, my, I guess, alternate personality. And I often say alternate personality because I realize that within a day we have to be so many different people. We have to wear so many different hats, especially women. I mean, that's without a doubt. I mean, just from the simple nature of a nourisher down to some of the other roles that men may not even have the development of, especially on certain emotional levels. So I applaud all the women in the audience for handling your multiple hats, your multiple identities, your multiple personalities that you have to kind of hold on to be one person at work, one person with your child, one person with your mom, dad. It's a lot. But to maintain the sanity that y'all have is awe-inspiring. But nevertheless, I'm here to kind of get into what we would consider the aura, the electromagnetic field, the torus field. And in this case, I'm going to be speaking on the idea of attachments. Now, in every single school of thought, whether it's anatomy, psychology, even on religious, they speak of these attachments, from parasites to demons, to, in the Islamic culture, jinn. These attachments is something that is often spoke on, but never in the level of detail I feel that we should be dealing with it. So in essence, I was able to kind of conceptualize what I would categorize as these attachments as born attachments, basically attachments that come to you via genetics, via DNA, certain things that have been instilled in you just on a genetic level. So you can kind of consider those like genetic attachments. Like, for example, if your mom liked pistachio ice cream, you may come in and inertly like pistachio ice cream. It's a genetic passover. And this also happens with memories, and we're going to get into that. But I call those born attachments. Now, born attachments is also associated to ancestors. Now, in my field, which is regression therapy, I've came to kind of an idea that if we come out of a body, it's possible that we go back into a body. Now, the bodies range. A body like Earth, a body like a person. It's possible that the re-entering back into what we would consider the afterlife could be a before life and be resurrected or rejuvenated or brought back into life through the womb. So you kind of would have to go back into a body to be able to come back into the womb. Those fortunate enough to go into, let's say, a body like that. But many bodies are different. Some have gotten so religious that when they go into their afterlife, the body they're into would be like Jesus. And instead of them entering a body that could be more associated to their organic timeline, they're now entering into something that has been indoctrinated or pressed upon a people for a small amount of time. But nevertheless, these born attachments have attached to what we would consider the chakras. And they have attached to these chakras because each chakra is operating a certain purpose. It's trying to accomplish something. The third eye, constantly trying to understand what it sees on an internal level, not just what you see on an external level. Process your thoughts, process your imagination, process the things that you are fearful of that you look for, the things that you are excited for that you look for. Throat chakra, it is trying to process communicating and what it's like to communicate and to be comfortable with communicating and not feel restricted or held back when communicating. And then each chakra, like I said, has its own agenda per se. And let's just say an ancestor may have been a very timid or meek ancestor, and they're now entering into a descendant because they know that you're going to be outspoken. They know that you're going to use your throat chakra, and they now can learn vicariously through you. Every time you use your throat chakra, every time you speak up, this ancestor that has not been able to move beyond this plane because they're blaming themselves for not speaking up is now learning how to speak up, how to actually develop a voice. Wow, through you, my descendant, through you, my future, I am now able to learn something to heal my past. And once I'm able to heal my past, I then can start going back into the reincarnation system, I guess. You can basically let go and enter something new. So the theory is we sometimes become vessels for our ancestors to learn things that they may have missed, simply put. So these are born attachments. You then have something we refer to as afterbirth attachments. Now, what would be considered an afterbirth attachment is something that has attached to you after birth, but specifically through some type of trauma that has happened to you after birth. Now, ironically enough, we used to have a process where a doctor would slap you on your ass before you even get to be held by your mother. So it's almost like you are split or triggered within the first few seconds of life, that you are feeling something aggressive, that you are feeling something forceful placed upon you that instantly starts off your genesis with a defensive stance. Some would consider that the reptilian mind getting activated way sooner than it should. You basically now have to fight, or flight, fornicate, freeze. These are some of the principles of the reptile. But basically, these things get activated at a very young age based on the traumas that you get exposed to. And some have considered that some of these traumas have led to the point where you cannot handle what is happening to you. So then you call on, let's just say, your genetics. And your genetics then can try to find something within you that can help you. So a simple example would be if you are a 16-year-old girl and you are being stalked by a rapist and you are now stuck in an elevator about to be raped, or you at 16 years old may not be able to process what is going on to you, and you have an ancestor dwelling within your subconscious mind through the quantum aspect of self, that it then says, I'm going to help you, I'll take over, and I'll deal with the rape. I'll be raped for you. And what that does is that splits you. That basically puts you into the back seat of your own life. Now, they've talked about this in a movie called Split. This was a movie M. Night Shyamalan did, which was a very excellent movie. But they identified it as multiple personalities. But in this case, it's some type of ancestral intervention. Now, every so often, ancestors cannot help you. I can't deal with this. Like, for example, say that you're getting canceled on the internet. Some people will go frantic for being canceled on the internet. An ancestor can't help you with that. We never had no internet. What am I supposed to do with that? So they then have to reach to something else. And there are things that have answers. There are future entities that are still observing, let's just say this time frame now, waiting for you to ask them a question, waiting for you to reach out to them. Now, some refer to them as demons, some refer to them as jinn, some refer to them as aliens.
Indeed, family. That right there is the preview of the replay that we have available on KTL University, Unveiling the Veil, featuring Q Reeves and Red Pill. 4 hours of some fire information. Make sure you take advantage of the link. We have it at a special price right now. We have the link in the description. I'll also drop it in the chat for the family and whatnot. But definitely make sure you go and grab that. And I want to thank you for your support in advance. You feel me? I want to thank you for your support in advance. Let me drop the link right there. And I was looking for this GoFundMe thing for Baba Taj, for Brother Taj Tariq. I can't find it in my email, so I'm still looking. I might have to drop that mañana. We may do a show tomorrow and whatnot. You feel me? But yeah, Baba Taj, he needs our assistance, so we got to give it to him real quick as well. We got some good news. Where's the vocals on that? Hold on. Okay, I have to go to the YouTube and pull it. I mean, check this out.
We have
Mama Dick Gregory. Peace, family. Peace to you and yours. Brother Red Pill reporting live and direct. I'm at Star Status Store in the New Black Wall Street. Yes, I have good news for the family. It is time. It is here. Hoodie season has arrived. The weather has broke. All right, November 1st is tomorrow. Let's get it. You know what I'm talking about? We have a sale on these items on the website, the Mark 125. If you're in town, make sure you come to Star Status. We have the Master Teacher Collection. Dr. Delbert Blair. We have Mama Dick Gregory. We have Bobby Hemmett, the legend. We have Dr. Africa, Dr. Sabi. Come on now, come down, get your hoodies and whatnot. Celebrate with us, respecting the master teachers. Peace, love, and light. Peace, family. Peace to you. Yes. All right. Real quick, make sure we put tomorrow marks 1 year that we lost Brother Panic, and he became an Ancestors. So make sure that you put a candle out. You know what I mean? Tomorrow is November 1st, which is the Day of the Dead. And it is also going to be a moon in Scorpio. All right. We are aiming to come back tomorrow with another powerful show and whatnot. If not, we will see you for Melanin Month. I mean, either Saturday Night Live or Sacrilegious Sundays. You know, you're going to be seeing us on one of those days or maybe all of those days. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Yes, Brother Walter Williams transcended. Ashe to Brother Walter Williams, the master teacher. He just transcended earlier this week. So we do have master teachers entering into the ancestor realm. We had a master teacher a year ago entering into the ancestor realm, Brother Panic. So yes, we definitely have to keep our candles lit, and ashe to all of the ancestors. You know, the veil is very thin. Talking about unveiling the veil is very thin right now. So this is definitely time to pay homage and to do whatever that you do to pay homage to your ancestors. Is very tentative about what tomorrow may bring. We may be doing a Day of the Dead day party, and it's going to be via Twitch. It's going to be a Day of the Dead party, a day party where we play all of the artists that are ancestors. This will be something that you don't have to leave your house to get ready and get all, you know, fly and whatnot. You could do this from your house. You'll be able to see and listen to the music. Put your fit on, whatever. Get your drink, get your tree or whatever it is. However you unwind and vibe out. You know what I'm saying? Turn the lights down low and vibe out. The playlist of these artists you have no idea. Crazy. So many quote unquote dead rappers and so many people who have made transition, but their music sounds greater, especially on the 1st of November. All right. So like I said, the master teachers, make sure y'all go and support that, the mark125.com. And you can utilize a code save 30 on the way out. Save 30. I'll put that in the chat, and that will give you 30% off of any item that you purchase. Please take advantage of that. It's not always going to be there. All right. Save 30. With that being said, we out of here. Love and light to the family. Y'all stay dangerous. You know what I'm talking about. And thank you all for your time tonight. It was very good. We had a good conversation. Very respectful. I appreciate the chat. You know what I mean? People were in class learning and whatnot, and that means something. So with that being said, peace, love, and light, y'all.
Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Get to know the legend, sacrilegious Sunday to Melanin Monday. to know the legend. My love, just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the fools are closed. The Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we're stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light. To the family. Peace, love and light. To the family.
These days,
Red, blue, purple light. Friends. Red, blue, purple light. Friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light. Red. Red and blue, purple light. Friends. Facts. You can get to know the legend. Sacrilegious Sunday to Melanin Monday. You can get to know the legend. My love, just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the fools are closed. The Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we're stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light. To the family. Peace, love and light. To the family.
these days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.